Hello and welcome everyone to the Polity Primer series of Just AIS. My name is Pragya. In our previous episode of Polity Primer, we examined the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act and we realized that yes, it was indeed very controversial, it was indeed very debatable and it was very significant in nature. So there was a demand from the people of India to remove the changes that were being done by the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. So after the revocation of the emergency, Janata Party became the ruling government in India after winning the general elections, and the steps were taken to finally undo the controversial changes of the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. The title of our today's discussion is the 43rd Constitutional Amendment Act. In this discussion, we are firstly going to study about what was the 43rd Constitutional Amendment. We are also going to examine its historical background. We are also going to see the constitutional changes introduced by this amendment in our Indian Constitution. And lastly, we will be discussing some of the important questions from the perspective of your prelims examination. So if I talk about the 43rd Constitutional Amendment Act, as I was explaining to you that yes, there was an unrest after the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. People were questioning that whether it is India's constitution, or India's constitution. Indira's constitution. So this was being questioned by the people of India, and there was a demand to undo all of the controversial changes that were brought in our Indian Constitution through the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. So basically several new articles were added to the Constitution by the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act, and this was done to limit the Supreme Court's and the High Court's authority to examine the constitutionality of laws in both a direct and indirect manner. So basically they wanted to limit the court's jurisdiction, and you know why. We have discussed all of this in very detail, the ongoing tussle between the parliament and the judiciary at that point of time on various issues. So to undo the controversial changes made by the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act, the Janata Party government brought in the 43rd Constitutional Amendment Act of 1977. So, as per the historical background, the 6th general election to the Lok Sabha took place in March 1977 after the emergency imposed in 1975 was revoked. As the Indian people were very angry what had happened during the period of emergency, the Congress party, which had held power for the last nearly 30 years, lost the general elections, and the Janata Party finally came into power. And the Janata Party won a decisive majority and formed the government, and after this they had a pledge that yes, if we come to power, we'll undo the changes of the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. So the Janata Party had made an election pledge, as I'm explaining, that it would repeal the 42nd Amendment and restore the status quo ante. That means it will restore the Indian Constitution as it was before the enactment of 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. And on this pledge, they finally won the general elections because the people were not happy with the Congress party at that point of time and the imposition of the national emergency. So the Constitution 43rd Amendment Act was enacted in December 1977 and it partially redeemed this pledge of the Janata Party government. Now let us examine what are the constitutional changes that have been introduced in our Indian Constitution by the 43rd Constitutional Amendment Act. So basically 6 articles that had been added to the Constitution by the 42nd Amendment were removed by the 43rd Amendment, and these articles are Article 31 Clause D, Article 32 Clause A, Article 131 Clause A, Article 144 Clause A, and Article 226 Clause A, and Article 228 Clause A. So all of these controversial articles that were added in our Indian Constitution by virtue of the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act were omitted by the 43rd Constitutional Amendment Act. Moving forward, legislation about anti-national actions and anti-national associations was made possible by Article 31 Clause D, and there was a suspicion that yes, the central government will be very powerful and they will definitely misuse this power because they were prohibiting legal associations in the name of anti-national associations. Okay, so and they could also abridge your fundamental rights if you are found indulging in the anti-national associations or anti-national activities. And who had the power to decide this? The parliament. So there was a clear-cut indication of abuse of power, and that is why this Article 31 Clause D was omitted. Then Article 32 Clause A of the Indian Constitution said that the Supreme Court would not look at the constitutionality of state laws. We have discussed when we were discussing the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act that it limited the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court and High Courts. Jurisdiction of SCs and HCs. Okay. So Supreme Court and High Court jurisdiction was very limited. Supreme Court was only able to, examine the constitutional validity of central laws. That too in very special cases. It could not examine the constitutional validity of a state law during writ proceedings to enforce the fundamental rights. And what was the purpose behind it? To ensure that the fundamental rights do not come in the pathway of the enforcement of the directive principles of state policy, enforcement of the social welfare legislations. Moving forward, Section 4 omits Article 131 Clause A relating to the exclusive jurisdiction of the Supreme Court in regard to questions as to the constitutional validity of the central law. So basically, it restored the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court. Now the Supreme Court could examine the state laws. It could also examine the central laws on the touchstone of violation of the fundamental rights. So basically, it restored the power of judicial review. Power of judicial review and writ jurisdiction of the Supreme Court of India. Writ jurisdiction of the Supreme Court of India. A central or state law could only be declared unconstitutional by the Supreme Court under Article 144 Clause A with a bench of at least 7 justices, and this was also brought forward by the Honorable Supreme Court of India in a case that why the Parliament is getting to decide that how many judges should be there to constitute a SC bench. This is the prerogative of the Supreme Court. So that is why this article was also omitted. Okay. And moreover, a 2/3 special majority of the bench is required. So what will this article do if it was enforced? It would have flooded the Supreme Court with cases. And even if it is a slight challenge to any such law enacted by the Parliament, it would have definitely wasted the precious judicial time because they would be examining some of the non-existing issues also. Okay. So under Article 228 Clause A, a High Court could only declare a state law invalid if the decision was made by a bench of at least 5 judges. That means a constitutional bench. Okay, so if the High Court had a constitutional bench, and then only it was empowered to declare a state law as void. And all of this was done because of a ongoing tussle between the Parliament and the Supreme Court and High Courts in the country, and we have discussed this in detail in our previous sessions. Okay. So additionally, a special majority of 2/3 of the bench voted in favor of the motion, and then only a state law could be declared as unconstitutional. So all of these limitations that were placed on the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court and High Court by the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act was finally undone by the 43rd Constitutional Amendment Act. Moving forward, the articles modified by the 43rd Constitutional Amendment Act include Article 145, Article 226, Article 228 and Article 366. So basically Clause 4A and Clause 26A were removed from the Article 366, and Article 366 of our Indian Constitution deals with the definition clauses. So all of these articles had to be changed to undo the controversial changes of the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. With this, we come to a conclusion of our today's discussion. We have seen the 43rd Constitutional Amendment Act. We have realized that the historical background behind enacting the 43rd Constitutional Amendment Act, because there was an unrest in the people of India, especially after the revocation of the emergency. We have seen that yes, this Amendment Act finally restored the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court and the High Court in reference to the power of judicial review as well as in terms of writ jurisdiction. Now let us discuss a practice question which I asked you in the previous session. So the question was, in India, which one of the following constitutional amendments was widely believed to be enacted to overcome the judicial interpretations of the fundamental rights? And this is a PYQ. This has been asked in the year 2023 in your UPSC prelims paper. Your options are: option A is First Amendment, option B is 42nd Amendment, option C is 44th Amendment, and option D is 86th Amendment. And I know most of you have marked the answer wrong as 42nd Constitutional Amendment, but the answer is the First Constitutional Amendment Act. So please remember this: the interpretation of the power of the interpretation of the fundamental rights started from the very first Constitutional Amendment Act, and we have discussed this amendment in detail. If you don't know the answer, you can go back and watch the video. Now let us discuss the practice question from us today's session. So the question is: consider the following statements about the 43rd Constitutional Amendment. Your statement number 1 is: it restored the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court and High Court in respect of judicial review and issuance of writs. Your statement number 2 is: it repealed Article 31 Clause D. Which of these statements given above are correct? Your options are: option A is 1 only, option B is 2 only, option C is both 1 and 2, and option D is none of the above. So I am revealing the correct answer for you. Your correct answer will be both option 1 and 2 are correct. Both statements are correct. Okay. Now let us discuss the last question of our today's discussion. So the question is: which constitutional amendment deprived the parliament of its special powers to make laws to deal with anti-national activities? Your options are: option A is 42nd Constitutional Amendment, option B is 43rd Constitutional Amendment, option C is 44th Constitutional Amendment, and option D is none of the above. And this answer will be given by you to me in the comment box below, and I'll reveal the correct answer in my next session. I hope this session was insightful for you. If you have any feedback regarding this session, you can drop it in the comment box. If you liked today's discussion and found it to be helpful, kindly like the video and subscribe to our channel for more such updates. Thank you.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.